problem is my husband doesn't get along with my parents. How can I discuss serious issues that my parents point out in our lives without ruining his relationship with them even more?
Wow. Good.
Yeah.
Huh? Good.
No,
Just
good?
to start you out on a light, easy.
There we go. Okay.
Easy. I was like, you should not be listening to anything your parents are saying about your husband. Tell them to stay out of your life. No, Leah's going to have a better answer than that.
No, that's actually the answer. That's actually, sorry, you've been around me too long. 5 years in with me, you've been around too long. That's
I thought
exactly.
you were going to give some, like, ways to get around.
Yeah, I did. How your husband, yeah. Hello. Poor, you should see her at Sarit's face.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. So here's the thing. So first
You
of all,
say it nicer,
no, but here's the thing. Women have to know this is not only advice for you, this is advice for mothers-in-law.
Listen up, all you mothers-in-law.
Listen up. This could be very valuable to send to your mother-in-law, except she may never talk to you again. So that maybe don't. But anyway, paraphrase it, whatever. Okay, here's the point. What does it say? It says you should leave your parents and cleave to your wife. Yeah? Right? We know
Exactly.
That, right? That's
them.
it. Right. This isn't Leah Richheimer's, this is a good idea. Why don't you try this? This is a 2,000-year-old track record, or is it 3,000-year-old track record of success, okay? Which is that the husband and the wife are a partner, a team. They're really one neshama. And I want to tell you this amazing story. When you go to light your Shabbos candles, right? You light the candle, you will light one for yourself, one for your husband. You have another kid, you know, some people have different customs or whatever, but you light one for each person. So I, as a new mother-in-law, I said to the rabbi, I said, you know, I'm lighting for all my children. I also want to pray for my new son-in-law. Like he's like part of our family now, and I want to light another candle. I notice people don't do that. Can I do that? Should I do that? You know, shouldn't that be a thing? You want to know the most gorgeous answer that he answered? The candle that I'm lighting for my daughter's neshama is the exact same neshama that he has.
Included. 2 for 1.
2 for 1. 2 for the price of 1. Is that the most gorgeous thing? It's why would you light another one? That would be for like a different soul, a different neshama, a different soul. They're the same soul. So a husband and a wife and we all know when 40 days before a man was born or a woman was born or however, I don't know, whatever, I'm misquoting, whatever, but 40 days beforehand they say, okay, this one's married to this one, that one's married to that one or whatever. It was destined since the beginning of time, by the way, BT dub. Since Adam and Chava walked the earth, you were destined to be with your husband, even if you think he's the wrong guy. And we'll have another question which addresses that even worse, okay? But here we go. So it's like, hello. Okay, anyway, here's the thing. You and your husband are one unit. You are the same soul. You are one unit. And anything that in any way encroaches or beats upon or brings down or does anything to lessen that closeness and that bond is asur deraisa. It's forbidden. It's forbidden by God himself. The sanctity of that marriage and the oneness of that relationship is the most important thing to God on the planet Earth. God is one. Our oneness is very crucial. So what does that mean? It means if the mother-in-law is saying, you really ought to, I don't like the car you drive. You ought to tell your husband that that's the wrong car. Or says, I don't like the way that your husband's behaving to the kids or how he's treating them. Or, if he does this, let's say they're 100% right. They say, if your husband is very harsh with them, if he does this, the kids, when they get to be teenagers, they're going to be belligerent. They're going to rebel against it. And let's say by 1,000 studies, they've researched and said that that's true. And I frankly don't know that that's true or not, because harshness sometimes has a role if it's done well and not with anger, but it's done in a term of, a kid needs a boundary. So the husband is setting the boundary. Maybe that's needed. And you see a lot of women trying to soften them up and tell it nice and whatever. And then the kid he doesn't have a wall to stand on, a ground to stand on. So I'm not advocating harshness. I'm just saying I wouldn't throw it out the window. But let's just say that they did 1 million studies and they all came out that how he's treating the kids is wrong. And your mommy points it out to you and says, I'm right, you're right, he's wrong, fix this because he's wrong. What's wrong is the parents' input. No matter how brilliant Thank you for nodding. I really know she's
no,
going.
really.
No matter how brilliant your mother is, your father is, let's say they're a trained PhD and whatever, and they are absolutely right, or they've done a study themselves or whatever, and they're right, makes no difference. What makes a difference is that you and your husband are figuring out on your own how to run your household, how do the decisions that can be made, what is going on in your home. Now, if they have input, and if you're a mother-in-law and you have input, once a year, once every 6 months maybe, you can give one teensy-weensy little comment. But for the other 1,000 input thoughts you have, zip your lip. And your mother-in-law or your mother, if she's interfering with what's going on in your home in a negative way and it's causing any friction. I mean, you started the question by saying, my husband doesn't get along with my parents. Maybe your husband doesn't get along with them because they do not know their place and they need to know their place. Your parents had 18 years, 20 years, 23 years to give their opinions. Right. It's over.
You
Done.
had your time.
You had your time. That's it. And I see this all the time. The mother-in-law. Oh, don't you think she needs a sweater? Excuse me. If the mother didn't put the sweater on the kid, she does not need a sweater. Take note on this. Take note. It's not your business. Now, you want to be loving and caring, and you might be right. Okay. Oh, but Leah, she's gonna get a cold. Guess what? She'll get a cold. Look, maybe there's safety issues. They're not buckling in the car seat. Okay, I hear. Okay, so then you don't say, why aren't you buckling the car seat? Or you really should buckle in the car. What you do is you notice that the car seat isn't being buckled in. And then you sit down and you figure, how am I going to get this information to them? You know what? No, I read an article about how many kids die per year in a car seat without buckling. Probably the best way for my daughter to hear it, or my son-in-law to hear it, or my son to hear it, whatever, would be if I just forward the email and say, ooh, I just read this. Just forward it to them. But you need to use your brain and how to get the information to your daughter-in-law. And your mother-in-law or your mother who is interfering in your relationship, so much so that your husband says he doesn't get along with her. How sad is that? Now, it could be that your mother-in-law, you yourself said that she's, how do I give my mother's really smart points to my husband? You need to sit down with your mom, take her out for lunch, for sushi, for something. Take her out and say, Mom, I really feel like I have been an enabler in your bad relationship with my husband. And I feel like I need to get this straight, get this clear. But it seems to look like your input, now that I'm married, I just feel like that it could be causing harm in my marriage. Puts me in such a horrible place, Mom. I'm so sorry, Mom. I want to be close to you. I want our relationship to be closer. I want my husband to love you and feel close to you. Maybe your mother doesn't know that he thinks he doesn't get along. So you have to be careful how you handle this whole thing. But you need to say, I want to get close. I want us all to be close. And I realize some of your input, even though you're right, is interfering with my closeness with you, with my husband's closeness with you, and worse, my closeness with my husband. So what I'm going to ask of you, Mom, is if you don't mind, even if you do mind, what I'm going to ask you is to please, if you have opinions, keep them to yourself, even if you're right. Maybe you and I can go out, we can have a discussion once a month, and you can make a list, and we can try that. I'm willing to maybe give that a try. If you prioritize only telling me the 2 or 3 most important things, please buckle the car seat, kids in the car seat. You really need to get a fire extinguisher in your kitchen because I'm worried you keep burning everything. Whatever it is, I will be open to that. Maybe not to my husband, but you tell it to me after you've taken the 100 things you want to say, crossed out 97 of them, save the last 3, and take me out to a fancy meal and tell them to me. Maybe I'll be open to that. If that works, we're good. If that doesn't work, or if I find that when you say something about my husband that makes me feel less close to him, then I'll have to even nix that idea. So I as you can see, I'm kind of brainstorming ways that you can handle it in a way, but the bottom line is, and this is the take-home message, your loyalty must be with your husband. It must be with your husband and not your mother and your father. That's the way God created the world. That is the way to have ultimate closeness with your husband, and there is no other method. So if you can't talk your mom into it, you need to go to a rabbi and say, listen, my mom keeps interfering and she keeps giving her 2 cents, and I've talked to her about it 5 times till I'm blue in the face, and the relationship is getting worse. And it's, when I hear her good points and I see how stupid my husband is, it makes me mad at my husband. It makes me look down on him. What do I do? The rabbi will likely tell you need to cut off relations, God forbid. I mean, that's a horrible, 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 but I've seen it happen. I have witnessed this because the parents don't know that their number one job of a parent, the number one job is to create harmony in that marriage, and that's God's word himself, not Leah Richheimer's idea, okay? Right. So that's the answer to that.
Side with your husband every time.
Every time. There's no second choice there.
Yes, so we have Rivka, who's asking in this similar framework of in-laws and parents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like inviting my in-laws home because my husband ignores me when they're in town, but sadly he never gets to see them. So I feel that I work so hard the whole weekend and I just get ignored. What should I do?
So the husband, say that again.
Basically, her in-laws, her husband's parents live out of town.
Right.
So her husband doesn't get to see them very often. And she's happy to invite them, except she finds that when she does invite them for the weekend or whatever.
Oh, he ignores her the whole time.
He ignores her even though she's doing all the work to make them feel very welcomed. And
gotcha. Excellent question.
That, right?
Very good. Okay, good. Okay, excellent question. Let me ask you this. Does he know that he ignores you? Have you ever discussed that with him?
Oh, okay. So Rivka, let us know if he knows. And at the same time, Aliza actually said that it's this same thing as with siblings who don't get along with the husband.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
brilliant lady. Yeah.
Siblings
yeah.
who sometimes like to get.
Yeah, they like to stir some trouble up over there.
Right.
So while they go on their their holy life, their wonderful life, or whatever, let me stir up a little trouble here. Oh, he shouldn't have done that. Yeah. So okay, here's another thing: you have to pick your confidants carefully. We all need confidence. We all need girlfriends that we can, this happened to me or whatever. Sometimes if you tell the guy, you tell your husband, the principal yelled at our son today, at Joey today. Oh, he yelled at him. He deserved it. Your husband won't get it. Whereas a girlfriend will say, oh, the principal yelled. Wow, that doesn't seem very nice. How come he's so harsh on him? He's not harsh on the other kids. He lets the other kids get away with murder, blah, blah, blah. But, maybe he's got a point there and maybe he's right, and a good clever friend will turn it around and they'll let you get your steam off while still helping brainstorm solutions and getting you calmed down and getting you not angry and creating shalom in the relationship between you and the principal again. But a husband will probably just immediately side with the principal or whatever. Guys don't have the same compassion that women do. So we need women in our life. Sisters are great candidates for that. However, if that confidant or that sibling is not able to do it in a way that turns it around to bring peace in the home. And like you want to end the conversation saying, owning some of the stuff and you want to end the conversation feeling hopeful about the future. If you're ending your conversation with your confidant angrier at your husband, less supported, less whole with your husband, if you're doing less of that, hello. Are we okay still? If you're doing less of that, then you know that confidant isn't the one that you need to be. You need to find a new confidant. So sibling is the same. Okay, so fine. What else did that? Okay.
So I will tell you what Rivka answered, but Sarah Chaya actually said, so the same goes for other outside relationships as well.
Every outside relationship.
So anything that has to do with anyone getting involved with a husband and a wife, stay out of it.
Right. Listen, here's the rule of thumb. Your loyalty is to your husband. If you need somebody as a confidant, when many women do, if it is increasing harmony and love and peace in your marriage, stick with it. If they are giving you advice that causes more discord, even if they're saying the right things, like, he should have done this. That's too bad. I feel so bad for you that he did it that way. He should have done it this other way. And you come away and now he does it again and you're even madder. Not good. It's not good. So, and here's advice, you want a good friend. Here's advice for you in being a good friend to other friends. If someone confides in you or says, "Oh, you watch the ladies' talk show, so you know more than me. Let me ask you advice," or whatever. Just teasing. But they come to you and they're complaining. Here's the rule of thumb for you: whatever comes out of your mouth, make sure it's going to increase harmony in that marriage. It doesn't mean you say, "Oh, the husband's right, and you shouldn't have, you need to step up to the plate." No, they're never going to come back to you again. You want to say, "Oh, I hear how you say that, but maybe you're interpreting what he said incorrectly. Maybe the reason he's harsh when he comes home from dinner is he just hasn't eaten. Why don't you give him some little snacks of nuts for the way home in the car or whatever?" Somebody who is trying to work through solutions and brainstorm solutions, you be that person.
Well, Leah, I have the perfect answer. They should channel Leah.
Oh yeah, but hello.
Think Leah.
Whatever.
Okay,
Let's say there. You're so sweet. No, but the point is that it's it's very interesting. There's a rabbi once said, I got very angry at somebody who did whatever, and I'm like, there has to be revenge because this person did the wrong thing, and there needs to be revenge. And the rabbi said, he goes, that shows how loyal you are that you want revenge. But you still can't do revenge, okay? Right. But the thing, the loyal. But what the rabbi was saying to the group, he was telling us that loyalty is really one of the most important qualities in a wife. Really important in a wife, and it's the only way to sort of protect that. How would you feel if your husband bad-mouthed you or bad-talked you to other people? You know what I'm saying? It's a sense of loyalty. And I have women who come to me and they say, my husband listens to his mom more than he listens to my opinion. I'll tell you a story. My friend of mine, she's, about 20 years, there was a woman who moved into the community who was 20 years younger than her and bought this huge mansion. Gorgeous, marble foyer, nothing that I would be having. It was like all phony baloney stuff. But anyway, this gorgeous man. So my friend was over her house and they were hanging out and the girl was looking through a catalog, couches or whatever. And they were like, $10,000 couches, it's just different planet or whatever. Maybe some of you are like that. That's great. Send me a check. No, God, but whatever. So she was looking at and she was looking through this magazine with $10,000 couches and, for her new house. And my friend said to her, she showed her this gorgeous wraparound white couch. And my friend said to her, "Oh, that is gorgeous. That would look beautiful with that wood mahogany floor you have or whatever. That would look gorgeous." And the woman looked at her like she's crazy, and she said, "Are you kidding? Of course it's gorgeous. My mother-in-law would never let me do that." Can you imagine? My friend told me the story, and she said, "I don't care how much money you have. If it's like being in a gilded cage, a gilded cage." So take note, mothers-in-laws. If your mother-in-law or your mom is like that and interfering in your life in such a way, something has to be done. And if you can't do it yourself, get help. Get a rabbi, a rebbitzin, get somebody in there who can intervene, a therapist, somebody who can, figure out how to handle. Because if you just say, "I'm not taking it anymore, I'm buying whatever couch I want," you're going to have friction. But for instance, in that situation with the couch, if she got help, whatever, she sit down with her mother-in-law, maybe go out to lunch, maybe her mother-in-law wasn't, say, "Listen, I love you so much. I'm so glad you're so supportive. I'm so grateful for the house. I'm so grateful for everything. But in a way, I feel like I don't have choices in my own life." So I don't know how that conversation would go. You'd have to brainstorm it. You'd have to know each party. But I'm saying these situations need to be addressed and communicated in such a way that they're not creating lack of harmony in the marriage.
Right. So Rivka responded that she does tell him that he's ignoring her when the in-laws are over, just to reiterate.
Yeah.
For anyone coming on. And he said that he will try not to, but he always ends up when his parents are there, he focuses on them and he ignores her.
Okay. So here's the thing. Rivka, tell me if this would solve it for you. He knows it. He's trying. He's failing. If you were to say, "Listen, the folks are coming this weekend. I know you're going to ignore me the whole time." So they're leaving Sunday night. Monday night, not only do I want to be taken to dinner, but I also want a present. I will pick the present. I will go shopping and I will buy something for $20 or $50 or $100 and I will wrap it and I will give it to you. And Monday night you will take me out to dinner and tell me how wonderful I am. Would that work for you? Would that work?
I love that. 'Cause
Yeah.
for me, it's like she's not causing him to. He really, in a sense, wants to focus on his parents, and she has him all the rest of the time. They
Right.
don't live near them.
Right,
So
right.
if she can, you're basically telling her if you can sort of give that present
Yeah,
to him,
yeah, right.
that
Yeah,
he can
exactly.
focus on his
That's it.
parents, then he will present you with something afterwards.
And you knowing on over the weekend when you say dear, whatever you're trying to get his attention, he's like not there, knowing that you're going to get your reward, and look, the bottom line is his behavior acceptable or not acceptable? Probably it's not ideal. Like if you went to a rabbi and you said, whatever, this is happening, I'm ignoring my wife and I'm paying attention to my, what would the rabbi say? He'd probably say, oh, that's not so great. Does it hurt you that bad, sweetheart? And you'd say, yeah, I really am hurt about it. Then he said, okay, you can't do that anymore. Or if you said, well, I guess I can live with it for 2 days or 4 days or whatever, as long as he takes me out to dinner and buys me a present, I can live with it. Then the rabbi, so this is an issue for discussion. It's probably not ideal, but on the other hand, you have to see a part of your husband, which is appreciating. He's trying to be a tzaddik. He's trying to be a good man. He's trying to take care of his parents. Yummy. He's yummy, and he's also modeling for your children how to treat parents. So on one sense, we're talking about loyalty, and he should have loyalty to you. But for these types of occasions, and if it's not too difficult for you and you can survive it, get the present.
Okay, so Linda, this is a big, heavy topic. Linda, who's married 2 years,
Right.
just so you know, she's a newlywed. Mazel tov, Linda. Said that over Pesach, her sister-in-law confided in her that her husband's mom still cooks dinner every night for him.
Wait, husband's what? This is her?
Meaning, her sister-in-law told her that her husband is eating at his mom every night. And then she blames me if I don't cook for him because he comes home full. Meaning she's married 2 years, she's not cooking for him because he's coming home full because he's eating at his mom's.
He's eating at his mom's every night for dinner.
dinner.
Without her.
Without her, obviously. Right, Linda? I'm just assuming, but it sounds like it's without her because she's... Or maybe it is with her. Linda, let us know if it's
if it's you or without you.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, big difference.
And is that sister-in-law from your husband's side, meaning your husband's sister?
So hold on. It's her sister-in-law.
Her sister-in-law over
is
Pesach.
eating with her. So her husband's... Linda's mother-in-law is the one who's cooking for him. I'm so confused.
Correct. Linda's mother.
Okay.
Linda's husband's mother.
Right.
Yeah.
So confiding in her means that nobody knows about it. Meaning that it's kind of a...
Yeah, without me. She said without me. And she said the sister-in-law she's married into my husband's family. So it's not her husband's sister. It's...
Okay, whatever. Okay, so it's not related to her. It's nothing she can do to go talk to the lady and say you have a couple of screws loose. Okay, oops, sorry.
Yeah.
Can I say that? Got it.
He's not eating with her. He's going to his mother. He's eating by his mother, and then he's coming home full, so she doesn't have to cook for him.
This is a quintessential moment to get a rabbi involved. This is a very serious problem. The husband does not understand what it means to be a husband. He does not understand the primary thing. A man should leave the place of his home and cleave to his wife. It's absolutely crucial that he does that. Now, how that happens and how that transition takes place is crucial to the success of it. If it's handled incorrectly or harshly or wagging finger, it will backfire and be a massive disaster. So the sister-in-law who confided in you, Linda, I would call her up and say, you consulted with somebody, and they say this is a... See, the problem is, I'm afraid if Linda's sister-in-law goes to a rabbi who handles it harshly, then they're in worse trouble, because this is how, pitting the mother against the,
Right.
Obviously there's a big problem here because the mother-in-law who is feeding the son does not understand her role, and the son doesn't understand his role. This is the mother-in-law's problem. She didn't teach her son because she didn't know herself.
Right.
So
Right. And also, I just find as though the sister-in-law, I almost feel as though it's obviously a while that this has been happening,
Right.
and I don't know if it bothered Linda. Did it bother you until now? Not that
you.
saying it's right or
Right.
wrong, but did it bother? I think now that her sister-in-law brought up, your husband keeps eating by his mother, and that's a terrible thing because he's not coming home
No,
to you.
she
Saying you don't cook
confided.
for him, so he eats here.
Yeah. That's she's like basically saying you don't cook for him, and because he's eating, he's eating by his mom. And
No,
he's
she's
full by
saying
time.
then he's coming home and saying, I don't.
No, he's not saying anything. The mother is saying that that the wife is not cooking for her husband. That's why she's feeding her son. Meaning the mother said.
I'm so confused.
Is anybody else in
Linda, just let me know if we're getting this right. But okay, yeah, I'm spot on. Okay, so let me explain because I'm actually getting it. She actually said that the first year it broke her heart that he was eating by his mom.
Right.
But the second year she actually felt happy because she was exempt. I was actually, Linda, by the way, thinking the exact same thing. Oh my gosh, if I don't have to worry about supper, yay! But I'm terrible like that, so don't listen to that. But basically what she's saying is the sister-in-law over Pesach said to her,
Right.
your husband is eating by his mom every night, and the mom said, she said to the sister-in-law, she overheard her saying, his wife never cooks him, that's why he has to eat by me.
But it started the other way around.
Exactly, that he was going to eat there, and he was coming home full. So Linda was like, what am I cooking for? I'm cooking for nobody. Right. So why am I going to bother? So by the first year, it broke her heart.
So
the second year, she got used to it.
Did the wife talk to the husband who was eating at the hut?
Okay, so Linda, you're on. Did you ever speak to
No, not her. Did her sister-in-law who confided in her? Did
did
let's call her
sister-in-law
Betsy.
ever tell the
did
husband
Betsy ever tell her husband that it bothered her in that first year? That she wasn't,
right. Did anyone, was it
open for discussion?
Correct.
Or
Meaning,
was it
did the
just like
sister-in-law
secret
say
thing?
it, right, did the mom say it like, was it a whole discussion saying to the husband, oh, your wife never feeds you, so I have to feed you? Or did she say it to the sister-in-law without the husband even?
No, that isn't important. Sorry, not important,
No,
but
yeah.
whatever. No, the question is the, in the first year, did Betsy ever tell her husband that it bothers him that she eats at...
You mean Linda?
No, Linda is a third party.
No, Linda's the one who's asking. Linda's the wife.
She's the one whose husband isn't coming home to eat?
Linda's the wife.
All the names
I know
are
it's
getting
hard, by the
jumbled
way,
now.
guys, because I'm reading the comments and Leah's
I'm
responding. She's not saying
sorry.
it, but Linda's the
Okay,
wife.
Linda, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
So, okay.
Linda's wife, and she said yes. She defended me to her. She defended her, meaning this sister-in-law.
I
Actually, when
get
she got
it,
this
I
information,
get
she
it.
defended Leah.
Linda.
Became
She
a
defended
whole,
Linda,
She doesn't know if
okay.
it became a whole conversation, but when the mother-in-law said
right,
this,
okay.
the sister-in-law defended Linda and said, well, what do you expect from her if her
You
husband is
okay,
eating by
fine,
you?
okay.
Blah,
Let
blah,
me. I'm talking to Linda now.
blah.
Okay, Linda.
Linda, you're
Question for you: in your first year of marriage, did you tell your husband that it troubled you that he ate at his mother? It bothered you? It hurt your feelings? Anything?
Right.
That's the question.
Yes, correct.
And
so wait, so she's
okay,
gonna
so-
wait.
and
She just
she's-
said that we got it spot on now.
Okay, and now we're waiting to
Now we
an
got
answer
it,
to that
and
question.
She's gonna let us know if she ever spoke to him. But she did, because she did say that in the first year it did bother her very much and it hurt her. And by
And
the
then
second year,
she-
she said yes many times. She's spoken.
And
to
what
him
was
about
his response?
it. Yeah. What was his response, Linda?
Yeah. Okay.
Meaning, did he even feel like bad about it, or he did just say?
So this is a little bit of there's something. This is not.
Something is off.
Yeah, something's a little off, especially because now the mother-in-law created the problem, and now she's blaming you for the problem.
Correct.
It's like
exactly correct.
so.
Right. The mother-in-law almost wanted to keep her son
Yeah.
at home,
Yeah.
and she now
Yeah.
created this thing, and now it's become, well, maybe she's been doing it every night, and now she's like,
And now
well,
she's saying the reason I do it is because
Correct.
I'm sure she's telling her friends, oh, my daughter-in-law, whatever.
cook.
Ay.
yeah.
Could have started as very benign. He could have just visited her and then opened the pot and eaten.
Yeah,
Right.
well, it's not benign
Okay,
anymore.
it's
so-
not benign. Okay, I don't. Could they hear her on the tape?
Yeah,
But it's okay.
yeah.
No, you couldn't hear. She said
Rahul,
it could have
yeah.
started very benign, and like he just
Innocently, yes.
innocently, and he just ate a little bit of the food there, and then it just got into a bad routine. So that's very good. Give her give her the benefit of the doubt. The mother-in-law, the mother-in-law. Okay, so what did she say now?
So she said that Basically, he had no guilt or change on his end. He actually said to her, "Make what I like," and she said, "I do," and it's rare that he eats what she makes.
Okay, how's everything else in the marriage? I wonder if we should get her on the phone because it's gonna.
Yeah, I actually feel like Linda, we need to get maybe.
I
do
feel like this could be a Get Real
with
episode.
Linda,
Yeah,
because I
Get
think
Real with Linda.
This has a very full topic.
So
Where Linda, your voice could be masked on the line,
Yeah.
and we can actually speak to you and make actually show for this, because I think there's a lot of back and forth here.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That we're not, that
yeah,
we're not
because-
gonna be able to capture.
Yeah, and I'm also a little concerned because if he's not, even if he thought you were wrong, the fact that he's not giving credence to your feelings and how your emotions about it means there's something missing in his understanding of what a husband is.
Okay, so she said she could join us on the Get Real with Leah.
Okay, great.
So Linda, basically we will get
Thank you, sweetie pie.
our office manager will get in touch with you
Absolutely.
with information.
But tell her to send her email
Yes,
somewhere.
yes.
Yeah,
You're gonna
DM
send
us your private
Yeah,
email.
DM us your email, and we will send you the information, because we will get you on.
Or
God
go to
willing-
info@ladiestalkshow.com and you can
God
send
willing
us your
next
info.
week, because we definitely feel like this is a conversation where you and Leah should be talking.
And that's open to everyone. If anyone's interested in being
Doing
our
the Get
guest,
Real- yeah,
please
then
email
let
us
us
at
know.
info@ladiestalkshow.com.
All right, let's go on to the
Yeah,
next
so
issue in
wait,
case
so-
there are
yeah.
people, listeners,
So
who haven't
so
have different
Rivka
issues.
actually did say that she thinks it would work, but her husband is in medical school, so he's very busy and he's not always available. And then when his parents do come, she says she definitely feels left out. She feels like she's.
So this is
kind of
Linda
like
back. This
back
is
to Rivka.
sorry, Rivka back
She's
about
kind of
her
like-
parents coming in. You have
Correct.
to tell who it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rivka with the in-laws
yes,
who come
who
in
come
and
and
her husband
visit.
ignores
Oh,
her.
so she's saying going out to dinner may not work because he's in medical school and he's too busy.
Correct. And she
Okay.
is feeling a little ignored, obviously, at that point. So she's feeling like the third wheel in the whole.
Right. It sounds
Right.
like in general she's craving his attention because he's super busy, and so
Right,
when they
right.
come, it's like, oh, you're gonna pour it to someone else now.
So, okay. What else? Everyone has their own love language. So what else, you have to think of what would make it up to you. Like if he said, okay, you know what? I hear it. So since I can't take you to dinner, I'm going to pay for you to go to art classes for a month. Or I'm going to, you keep bugging me about getting household help. You can have 3 hours on a Tuesday or whatever. Medical students don't have the money for that. Whatever you're dealing with financially. But I'm just saying, and it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It could be, okay, I was going to say do the dishes, but he isn't around. Something. Brainstorm, get creative, think of something he could do that would make it up to you, that would make, may not be balanced or whatever. Being the wife of a medical student, I'm sure you're doing a lot of stuff that isn't, you're putting in a lot of energy at this point without a lot of, what's that called? Results or whatever, or feeling taken care of. So I get it. You're good on you. But brainstorm something that would kind of make you feel that like, let's say he's very demanding about you having the dishes done, before you go to bed. I don't know, some guys care, some guys don't care, or whatever it is that he cares about. Say, listen, I'm going to take care of your parents. I'm going to be completely ignored all weekend, but this week I'm going to bed with dishes done, with some not done or whatever. Something that would make you feel like you got. You fed your goof for doing what your neshama needed to do. Your soul, you put yourself aside, and you just spiritually, you were just there for your husband at the time he needed you. Again, you didn't say whether it's every month that they're coming, or whether it's every 6 months, or
if it's every week.
Yeah, it's like you can almost
compartmentalize it. But
Yeah.
if it's more often, then it wouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Let's go on to the next
so
next
Aliza,
issue.
and feel free, Rivka, to email us as well if you want more clarification on that. Aliza saying that her question is my husband is the type to pay attention to details and notice little things. He cares about things like what shoes I wear, when I wear sheitel, how I decorate the house, etc. This was very hard for me to get used to when we first got married, but I've worked on myself a lot to be mevater, and meaning to give in and do what he wants. How do I give myself chizuk and strength and not feel bad about doing things his way? He's obviously, he's particular. He likes things his way, and she's learned to give in to that, but she wants to boost herself up to feel better about it. She said, especially when other people see what's going on, and they can't understand why I'm being a pushover.
Wow.
Yeah. By the way, in that same aspect was my husband's very much, I was, let's say as you know, I was the more controlling, more,
Type,
in charge. And my husband would very, just in general, not to start fights and not to have issues. He would be the one giving in more. And he had also friends or people saying to him, oh my gosh, you're such a
Pushover.
pushover, your wife.
Right.
So that makes it very hard on that person where I'm trying to be a good husband, or I'm trying to be a good wife, like she's saying, and people are not appreciating that, saying, oh my gosh, like, I should learn from you. They're saying the opposite, like, don't let him push you like that.
Right. Okay. So first of all, time out. Kudos to you, Aliza.
Yeah. Beyond.
Kudos to you. Beyond. Your bricks in Shemayim, your points with God are outstanding. So it's beautiful, but you can't be a doormat also. So first of all, in terms of what other people say and their other opinions and whatever, stock answer every time, what we do works for us. End of story. It shuts them up like, it's better than saying, mind your own business, but that's really what you're saying. What we do works for us. Zip your lip. And if they say, well, but you're pushing you over and you're just being a doormat and you're whatever, say, thank you for sharing. And just keep repeating it. What we do works for us. Even if internally you don't feel like it works for you, that's to shut them out. They have no business and no right to have any input on your relationship. And it's really a chutzpah, and it's asur d'oraisa.
Yes.
That means it's against God himself. Okay?
So, by the way, I did tell my husband, I actually gave him permission to say, because I knew that for him, if he would say that to men, they may be like, okay, whatever, this is like a poor broken man.
If they say what? Oh.
So I actually gave him permission to say, trust me, you don't know what happens behind closed doors. I let her control outside. I get the control in the home. And I totally gave him permission to say that he would, like, to save face.
That's beautiful.
To sort of say, like,
that's beautiful.
You don't see everything. You see one little aspect. Right now, I'm giving in, but you don't see it. And I didn't care. I didn't care that people think that in the home he's controlling
Lording
me,
it
because
over.
I knew the truth.
You were controlling it. Right.
I felt like he needed to have some
Beautiful.
pride. And
Beautiful.
So,
Okay. Fantastic. Good. Another good tip. Okay. So, but here's the issue of the dealing with this situation. So, remind me again, how many years were you married? Was she married?
Aliza, if you could just let us know how many years you're married. She didn't write it, but
okay, fine. Yeah, I mean, just so I know.
How many years has she been mevater? And
Right. So there is a very strong minhag, custom, that a woman is in charge of sort of decor, what she wears and so forth, and that's really just a strong custom. It can be broken. Some women are less savvy on these things, and guys are more decorative or more, more visual, have better ability to put things together and so forth. So if it's working in the marriage that the man is taking, lead in that or part in it in a bigger way, and it works, fine. If it doesn't work and the wife is constantly feeling like she's mevatering herself and what's the word mevater? Giving in all the time. And he, she comes down with an outfit and he says, wear the other gold shoes that you have, or wear the pumps would look better with that, or whatever it is. And that's happening constantly. And it's just like, hello,
Can I be a person?
Can I be a person? Can I dress myself? Thank you. I have an opinion. If it's really causing her to feel less than, or likewise he micromanaging me, then they need to talk about it. And
so she said second anniversary this week. It seems we have all
these two. That's great. That's good. Okay.
But it's second anniversary this week.
Second anniversary,
so
and right. Okay, and there is a definite what's the word I'm looking for? Masora, a definite tradition that a woman. I think it's a Gemara. It's a source that a woman should bring close to a man everything that he likes, and take away from a man anything he doesn't like in the home. So, for instance, if he hates something, if he hates spaghetti with meat sauce, wife, wouldn't make him spaghetti and meat sauce. So there's that also. So if he likes these shoes and he doesn't like those shoes, you're mavater and you're being, oh, okay, is fine. He should know, however, that, his micromanaging you, he has certain vision in his head. And in the first 2 years of marriage, for sure, a guy had these pictures of what his wife would look like, how his day would be, and how much control he'd have over her. All of that information that he had, or the visions or the pictures that he had, he's trying to play them out. So some of it could have been his preconceived notions of what marriage is and what a husband's role is. So these are kinds of things you can slowly educate him about. If you wag your finger and say, you did this and I didn't, whatever, or you say, I'm a vachered 500 times in the last 2 years, none of that will work. But if you're to say, sometimes, you just, by the by, you're saying, in the middle of another conversation, not like this big heavy duty thing, you say, by the way, sometimes when you tell me to switch shoes, it makes me feel like, you don't like my taste, and it's, whatever. I want you to do it because I want to wear something that that you like or you prefer. But maybe if you don't have a strong opinion, just let me wear what I'm already wearing, because I would say, let's say I come down, wearing an outfit 10 times. Give me a comment once or twice in those 10 times. The other times, if you can let it go, would really help me a lot. And if you're really not a great dresser, or he's got better taste than you, and you see that, after he tells you which shoes to wear, and you come down and you're like, this is better. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means he's got
an eye for fashion.
Eye for fashion, right? Okay. So and for decorating. So decorating in the house is a little bit different. It really is the woman's purview. Even if she's working full time and he's a stay-at-home dad or whatever, what's going on, the decor in the house is typically and traditionally the woman's view. And we have many sources saying that. Things have shifted so drastically in our generation that, you don't want to make things cast in stone. And you also don't want to, if you're, in other words, if you're saying, okay, these are my defined duties, according to tradition, so stay out of my decor. But then you go to the dishes and you're like, help equally with the dishes and help equally with all the household chores. Like you're selectively what you're...
You can't have it all.
You can't have it all, Like if you're going to say this is traditionally the woman's role, then some of the other things that might be in a little extra effort or like a little extra work for you to do that are traditionally the woman's role, you got to be willing to do. So you got to play this.
Right. So she actually said that... Shana Rishona, her first year, she felt terrible about it when he would constantly be telling her how to do things. But after reading your book and learning it, she realized that the more she gave in and was mevater and gave in, the less he micromanaged. And it actually, she stopped fighting over every little thing, which was a real game changer. So that advice worked. I think, by the way, for her, you had said it in a class years ago, one of our first earlier classes, was that sometimes there are times where you're giving in on something or you're doing something and it's not fair. You said that whole not fair thing, and right. It's not fair. And to give yourself strength is just to know every single time that happens, you had said, I use this a lot, so it's been very powerful for me.
That's great.
Turn internally and say, Hashem, I'm choosing peace and shalom bayis right now, and bring the blessing. And you really, you feel like, pat on the back, I'm just, I'm bringing the blessings into my home right now, because I just allowed my husband to tell me what to do, and I stayed quiet, and I zipped my lip, and Hashem is going to take care of me.
That'll bring blessing, because there's shalom over everything.
Thank
you.
That was
that's
A+ for me. That
game
has been
changer.
a real game changer in my house.
That's why I gave her a standing ovation when I first said, first time out, you're awesome, is because that when there's shalom in the home, that the blessing, you can see, if you look at your curtains very closely, you'll see them waving as the wind of whipping of shalom bayis, of blessing coming into your house. And what we mean by blessing is the car starts like it has, whatever the shoe buckle that kept falling off, you do it one last time and it stays, it's parnasa, it's health, it's closeness, it's money, it's in every possible way. Your kids doing well in school, things working, the dinner coming out well. That's blessing. And that blessing comes from God. And the more shalom there is in the home, the more blessing there is.
Yeah, so by the way, Sarah Chaya, who, you see, the whole thing was so powerful she said that, wow, I just realized that my being protective, in quotes, of my friend is really just me butting into their marriage and their business.
Wow.
So she actually realized from this that when she's sitting there and offering sort of what she thinks is helpful advice, it's actually better
Causing
to
friction.
Stay,
Yeah.
better to.
Oh, yay. Standing
Yes,
ovation.
yes, standing ovation for person, no joke, right? The
It
clapper,
has his
that's
sound
the
effects.
clapper.
You can always rely on it.
Yeah, yay. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
huge,
Good for
huge,
you. I hope
huge.
everybody heard that and learned from that and, can work on themselves to, it is so tempting, especially when you're right, when you're, and can you imagine, I know what Chazal have to say about it. So I'll see something happen. I'm like, hello, nice to see you. Yeah, whatever.
Like your husband's amazing.
That's the thing. By the way, BT Dubs. Now, anyone who's going to meet me think this is a whole tactic, but I will. That's what I'll say. I'll say amazing, amazing husband,
Right.
amazing. No matter what I see going on, this brings. When you see somebody's husband or wife, and you say your wife is so amazing, or your husband is so amazing, it elevates them. Whatever was going on in their life,
Right.
this brings a closeness. I think there's probably no closer words that more showering of happiness from God than hearing you say that to another person, bringing shalom, bringing peace. Aaron Nikon, that's what he did. He spent his whole life bringing peace between people, and that
Right.
brings peace. Just giving a compliment.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Chava Esther on Facebook actually said that that's really powerful. This whole
Yeah,
message
that's
is really
great.
powerful.
Thank you
And
for sharing.
Aliza did say that this is obviously all because this is such a plug for anyone married. She's married 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and reading your book, she said she does try to focus on the positive. The fact that she has an attentive husband who knows exactly which gifts to buy her and plans perfect outings because he's so particular and aware.
Oh,
So
that's the flip side
so
of
she
it. Look at that.
that's your whole
Exactly.
That's the
theory.
flip
Take
side, yeah.
what you see in your husband and
The
flip
cup
it to the
half
positive.
full. We have
Yeah,
time for
so-
one quick question, and then we have to go on to our next. Okay.
Yeah, we still have.
Is there
I
anybody
think- I
that-
don't, and I don't think we're going to be able to. Okay, we're going to try to. So Chai just said. So should I apologize to my friend or her husband, or is it better to just ignore it and not?
So
say
how
anything?
long has it been going on, and how?
Right. How long have you been giving them advice for, or sort of coming in? Because it's almost like.
Yeah, right.
Strict
If
And
it was
I-
a one-off thing, it's like
If it's a one-off thing, for sure, drop it and whatever, and they'll just think, okay, whatever. If how you can swap it around is give positive comments.
Right,
Like right now, like let's say you're saying, your husband is, during the meal, I noticed that your husband didn't get up to help at all, and that's terrible, whatever. And then next time say, just add make a note to yourself to write down a couple of comments and say them over time. One, 5 or 6 comments of, I noticed during the meal, your husband, when you open your mouth, your husband kind of shuts the kids up and listens to you fully. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
Think of another compliment. I saw that your husband cut the roast when you couldn't do it. What a wonderful husband you have.
Yeah, so she said it's a couple of years off and on, and she said they're really great friends of theirs. So the husband actually makes a joke of it now that she's always offering her
2 cents.
her 2 cents. So maybe she could make a joke about it also. Oh my
Right.
god!
make a joke about making it positive.
Yeah, you know what? I just heard on Instagram that
Ladies
what am I
talking
doing?
about-
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So I'm turning a new face. He says he ignores her calling for his help with the little ones. He's like a little brother to me, so he laughs when she tells him. Basically, she's reprimanding him for not helping his wife enough, that he's ignoring her, and now it's obviously the wife knows that she's saying her husband's
Right.
not helping, so it's becoming
Right. An issue.
Even though she tried to help by getting him to up his game, he
Right,
just thinks
but
it's a joke now.
here's what it's great that you haven't opened about it. There's something very sweet about that and closeness about that. However, you have to know that your pointing out anything to the husband will never work. People don't respond to direct orders or direct criticism. It just makes them mad at the person. It's like it never works. So no matter how you sliced it, the plan of action to get him to be more helpful totally backfired, because now he makes a joke of it and still doesn't have to get up and help with the kid.
Right.
Okay. So the way to have done that retroactive, thinking back, is, oh boy, I see he doesn't really help when he should help. So the first time I see him help, I'm gonna compliment him
There
helping.
you go.
Something like, or, I see he's not helping. It must be God himself raised him that way because the wife was, her entire childhood never lifted a finger. And so she gave him a husband who didn't lift a finger. So she had to get with the program. Who knows? God had a reason for making him like that. It's not your business. It's totally, totally not your business. How you get out of it at this point, I'm going to leave to you. You're a smart lady. I don't know that I would bring it up clearly, but I would know your best, easiest, fastest plan is to throw out a dozen compliments in the next few months.
To
Praise.
him, meaning.
To him.
Yeah.
Or to the wife.
She said she praises the wife in front of him, that she's so patient, and
Right.
she's so good,
So
but
now-
it should be praised
The other way.
to
Okay,
the wife.
we're out of time.
Yeah.